Okay, so joining me now are our political panel, Willie Jackson, Dion Tuta and Tina Whitcliffe. Kia ora koutou, morning. Let's remind you of some of your predictions from last week. I have to say, Willie, you weren't too far off on most of your predictions. We'll come back to that.
I was worried about Hone.
Yeah, you were, and with
that's why we had to sack Hinari today, because he was so off with his predictions, wasn't he?
He's gone to Māori TV, like he might. And Tina, you had Hauora, you thought that Chris Mackenzie might take that, and you also
I thought he was the strongest candidate.
And you also thought that Hone would win and take some MPs into Parliament with him.
Yeah, well, totally wrong with that one. I don't think any of us saw that happening, actually, with Hone Harawira. And .com's right, he absolutely poisoned their campaign. And this is a lesson, too, to Māori MPs. You cannot use the Māori seats to parachute in Tauiwi, because Māori voters won't accept that, and that's what's happened.
We left you so little time to make predictions last week, Dion, but you did say you just wanted to see the Māori Party in. And, well, they're in, but what kind of victory is it?
Yeah, it's a good question, that. I think, well, I'd like to mihi to the voters of the Waiariki, actually, for ensuring that the Māori Party stayed in place. With the rest of the seats going back to Labour, is that a victory? It's obviously a victory for Labour, but it means more Māori in opposition and less Māori in government and a potential to make decisions. So, while it can look good on one hand for Labour, what more influence does that give for Māori in terms of governing and actually making decisions? Question mark around that. Tūroro is going to have it tough. He's going to be there. He may have Marama Fox with him. It's going to make, he's going to have a hard job there, and Marama's going to need to step up to the plate quickly to support him in that.
So, I mean, it was an interesting lineup this morning, Willie, with those 6 Labour MPs sitting here. But what does it say about Māori engagement with those Māori seats? Oh,
it says that Māori are stupid some of the time. That's what it says. No, this is a fact, because and Tariana Turia had every right to be crying, but then she's got to take responsibility too, because she was unable to bring the Māori Party and Mana movement together. If you combine the votes in Te Tai Hauru, the one Māori candidate, Mackenzie wins hands down. So her inability to unite the parties is a reason why she's crying today. They gave away 4 seats. They had 5 seats in 2008, Miriama. They had 5 seats. They gave away 4 seats. In fact, here in Auckland, McLean wins, because Pene got 2,000 votes. McLean wins in Auckland. Mackenzie wins in Te Tai Hauru. On the East Coast, one Māori Party candidate would have won that vote. Te Hamua and Marama Fox, 7,000 votes combined. And in the North, Harawira wins, because the young fella from the Māori Party,
Calvin Davis.
He got 2,000 votes from the Māori Party. Fancy throwing away 4 seats. This is not about... People are getting this all wrong. This is the .com campaign 4 or 5 weeks ago. The .com idea was a brilliant idea. The campaign was rubbish.
How can you say that now when even .com is saying I was poisoned for this?
Well, so you need to have a listen here, because 4 or 5 weeks ago, 4% in the polls, internet mana. 4% in the polls. What .com did wrong, he should have just got out of there. And so his campaign...
So he said he was poisoned. Of course, you say he should have got out.
He should have just put the money up and got out.
Yeah, absolutely. He should have got out of it. And he concedes that. 3 weeks before the actual election, I don't want to hear from him.
Do you buy that, Dion? Do you think that it was about the Māori Mana division and less about .com? And if only .com had left a bit earlier?
I think that contributes to it, but I think Willie's a little bit unfair on Tariana, laying it all at her feet, because you've got to remember that Hone left the Māori Party. They didn't kick him out. He left because of his inability to compromise with National. He was able to compromise with Kim.com and Laila Hari. But that's irrelevant. The split, I think, did contribute. But I'm not, because I think Willie is right in terms of if they had been.
It's not just Tariana's fault. It's her fault. It's Sharple's fault, and it's Tūroro's fault, because they just Harawira. You're right. What happened with Hone. I'm not saying Hone's blameless. Absolutely, he takes some blame. But to be fair here, he said, "I want to come back together." They refused to come back together. They throw away 4 seats. I think it's just terrible.
Willie, why won't he concede?
Sorry?
Why won't he?
Well, I think he's a bit hurt, and we talked last night.
Not a great look. It's not a great look.
Yeah, but he's given his heart. He's been a great champion, great advocate. Ngahuia doesn't know what she's talking about in terms of the end of the Mana movement. Says who?
But what,
you know, they've got so many activists, it's not funny. And Sykes and Harawira are the two best.
This won't be the end of the month.
Of course not.
Tina.
What's also happened in this election, though, when you were looking at those in terms of voter turnout, still 47% of our people didn't bother to go to the polls. What we're seeing is entrenched disenchantment in the system. Now, I don't know if that means that people are checking out because they don't like the mana Māori bickering and all of that. Maybe it's because they're hoha. They don't see themselves being represented properly in Parliament.